Now, I want to demonstrate how can we have a basic histogram plot using qplot, right? So I'm going to generate the random data, okay? And I'm going to say set.seed, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? And I'm going to come here and say, I'm going to create this data frame, and I'm going to say data.frame. So I want to create a data frame here, okay? So I'm going to come here and say, let's say we have sex, which will represent, for example, whether you either a male or a female. So I'm going to create this and represent female, or you can either represent male, right? And I'm going to come here and say each. So we're not doing anything fancy in this case. We are simply just creating a data frame, right? So here I'm going to repeat this 200 times, and I'm going to say another variable. Let's say this one will represent the weight, right? And then I'm going to create these random numbers from normal distribution. I'm going to say I want this to be 200. So let's say 55. And then I'm going to say 200, let's say different number, which is 58. So let's try to run this. So if you come here in your console, you'll notice that we've created this data set, and we can say head this data set. So this is the data that we have created. Okay, now let's say we want to make a basic histogram using qplot. So we come and say qplot, we say weight in the x-axis, right? And then we come and say data is equal to df, right? So remember, we have to specify that we want a histogram. So if you run this, now what you notice here is that R is also giving us a suggestion that we can pick better value with bin width of the bins, right? So, but for demonstration purposes, we are still using qplot. So this is an example of how you can make a basic histogram. Now, let's say you want to change color, right? So you can specify weight, and then you say data equals to df. Of course, we are plotting a histogram, right? Gonna shrink this a little bit. Then, so now we come in here and say fill, and we specify sex. And if you run this, you notice now what has happened is that R has eventually said, okay, now we said we want to change histogram fill color by a group, in this case with the sex. So it has went ahead and then it has gave us a histogram of males and a histogram of females. So in this case, if you have groups, you can simply just also use qplot, or we also go advanced with ggplot in order to create a histogram of individual groups in your data set.